Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? We are wrapping up the Monkie Kid for the beginning January 1st of 2023. All the final Monkie Kid set that is coming in January 2023. So this set number is 80044. It is labeled as Monkie Kid's Hideout. This thing is actually pretty tremendous in its build quality, which we'll talk about, but the price is a steep 140 here in the United States and only 100 euros. How on earth did that happen? I don't know, but man, oh man, some days it just makes you want to move to Europe, doesn't it? Anyway, so let's go ahead and dive into what this thing has to offer, and we'll go through it a little bit at a time, and then we'll get to minifigs in the end this time. First thing right out of the gate that notice, I should say, is that Monkie Kid has lots of color. There's a lot of color here. There's a lot of elevation. There's a bunch of different elevations. There's a bunch of different textures as well. There's some play stuff that you could, go along with. It is a play set, so there are some things that are really nice to go along with it. But as a whole, this thing is just incredibly well done. It was a phenomenal build from beginning to end. I really, truly did enjoy every single part of it. So let's go ahead and we'll start on the left side. By the way, this entire build has modular sections to it. So you are essentially able to remove bits and pieces, different little builds throughout this entire thing to be able to get to things. Or again, like we talked about in a previous episode, a lot of the Monkie Kid villages and stuff like that, or set pieces that come with sets, can be connected together. Usually they're pinned together by two Technic pins, and in this case, that is possible as well. We'll touch on that at the end. So, starting on the left, this little modular section that can be clipped into place here is just something really simple. You've got this little blacksmith that is going on in Monkie Kid's Hideout. I'm not really sure who your blacksmith is, but you got a couple different people here. Anyway, so you have your blacksmith shop. You've got some green smoke, a trans green smoke piece that's coming out the top, which is kind of neat. But you have Nexonite shields that make up the roof in the teal green and neon green, which I absolutely love. I think it's phenomenal. Again, as always, to be able to get that. And here's the other cool thing that I like about this part of it. If you are somebody that wants to get into posing, or you're a kid or somebody, you're an adult that wants to play, let's be honest, you can lift this up because it is just clipped into place. So it does have maneuverability, the roof that is, to be able to get a figure in there and just kind of organize things in whichever way you so choose. Now, down inside of it, you have a few different things. You have a very large golden sword that is hanging up. You have a sword that is being cast on an anvil at that point in time. You have a bucket that has a variety of different swords in there as well. And then you have your other thing that is in here. Well, not really in here, but they have it on the outside. And it's just supposed to be something with Pigsy. And it's just a little 1x2 print here. And it's of Pigsy holding some noodles. And there's some writing that is on here. Obviously, I cannot read what that says. Anyway, so that is just hanging on outside. Could be whatever you want it to be, honestly. So as I turn this thing to the reverse side of things, you get a little bit of a different idea that is going on here. And what you have on the inside, there is, you can see your where you're gilding your swords, because you can see the fire. It is green fire that is in here. It leads to the chimney stack. And then there's a fire extinguisher in there because safety first. Safety is always important, apparently. There are some instructions on the inside for fighting. There's some pictures. There's another sticker that is on the outside of the chimney. And so the interesting thing, like I said, about the roof, I liked it because you could get your minifig down in there. You can move things around a little bit because, as an adult, you have bigger fingers, becomes a little bit more problematic. But the intent of this, because it is his hideout, there is some defense that is going on here. Up in the top end of this, just underneath the roof, in the back side of it, what you have is you have a stud shooter that is essentially going on here with the 2x2 rounds that can be shot through. That is simply done by your finger. You get 2 of those here. You can clip one on top, which is nice because they do leave you some room, 2 studs there that you can clip the extra up there if you don't want to just put it to the side. You don't want to lose it. So that is nice as well. So moving further to the right side, we're going to move on to the main part of the build here. Main part of the build has a lot. So starting from the lower front of this, bunch of different plates and slopes and bricks to be able to get that texturing that is going on. You've got some greenery with some purple flowers as you take a few steps upward. We're, probably 6 plates high, about 2 bricks high, maybe just slightly more than that. You've got a little chicken here. You've got a stand that is going on here for some food. Your little panda food stand here with his cute little semi brick built head, and then there's a sticker for the panda's face. The little stand that you have here, there's a white carrot, which looks like a turnip. You've got a greenery piece here. You've got a turkey leg. You've got a barrel with an egg in it. You've got another little piece here that has a print, or not a print, I'm sorry. It's a 2x2 tile. And what it has on top is a sticker, has like a little pigsy on all fours. Some other stickers that are going on here, some stickers for the top of the what is supposed to be like the fabric styled roof of this little stand. You have a little golden frog that's chilling here as well. And then just behind the stand, you have this cooler that has a red crab in it, and they give you some cheese slope pieces in the clear to be able to use as ice, to pretend that you're, he's iced up in there. He's cooling. Anyway, so before we move too much further back, I want to go further to the right here. We have some stairs that lead to the second story, which we will get to in a moment. But just to the right of that, you have another little section here. And again, modularity here. This can be removed. Just a simple few pins in there. But what you have here is you have a little well with a bucket. You have some built up kind of rocky pieces that are on the rear because they, this side attaches to more of the mountainous rocky part of the build. And then you also have some bamboo stalks that are sticking up in the rear. So we're going to take, just before we go up the stairs, we're going to come back to this main center building here. And what you have down in the bottom portion of it, you've got some more greenery plants that are growing out in front of this window, this golden window, by the way. And then as you rotate this towards its side to be able to get towards the back so you can see everything, you have a really nice brick-built awning in the style of Monkie Kid that is here. It's actually really, really cool. And then on the inside of that section, another really cool weapon, yet again. You've got some more instructions there for fish, I guess however you're going to do the fish or something like that. This piece here is, I guess, maybe supposed to be a fish tail. It is a glow-in-the-dark piece, so that is really nice to have. But this is, I guess, kind of almost like your washroom. You have some poo in the toilet, and I guess that's what that is. I don't know. And then you have another bowl that is just clear, like it has water in it. I don't really get the purpose of that, but hey, whatever. You've also got a fish that is hanging outside, perhaps drying, but inside the little counter, it does flip outward, and it does give you this little kind of command center with some 2 red trans 1x1 round plates in there that are upside down. It's, a little bit of a play feature, a little bit of some action there. So as we move towards the top of that, again, it's a base. It's about self-defense, keeping everybody safe in here. And up here, you have another, it looks like a golden weapon. It is a golden rake. I'm pretty sure it's not for your Zen garden, but it could be. Anyway, you've got some pots and a mallet that is up here, a cleaver, excuse me, on the wall. Out front of that, of this little stand on the counter, you have a little pot, you have some dumplings, you have trans green bottle, which is, it could be anything. It could be your mineral water. It could be your adult grape juice, whatever you prefer it to be. Then as we move upward, you've got a really nice ornamental build again to the roof. Love the way they do these roofs in Monkie Kid. They're so perfect. They just really are. And then you've got a greenery tree piece that's sticking out to the one side. And then you have this big, giant monstrosity, kind of weird looking thing that has these round 2x2 tiles with stickers on it. Not really sure. It's in writing, obviously, that I cannot read in some form of Chinese, but it is there. So one of the things, again, it's a base, like I said, his little hideout. One of the things that is in here, which I thought was really, really sharp, was Pigsy's face is kind of brick built again, and they have pink stud shooters that are in here. There are 2 of them, which are supposed to be like his nose, like a pig's nostrils, and those can be easily shot out. And the way it works is actually really, really ingenious. It is. Here's the thing. Lego designers continue to do things where I'm like, okay, how do you guys manage? How do you guys manage to just continue to do this? But it's super simple. So just like we had talked about with another piece that had rotated around, this rotates from the rear upward, and boom, there you go. You've got a point defense weapon. You're ready to go. You're ready to fight the bad guys from taking over your hideout. It's brilliant. It folds up over the rooftop. I love it. So cool looking. Well, that is that part of this build. Let's move on to the next larger part of the build. So this is where you get a lot of elevation here, a lot of rocky kind of stuff that is going on, because you've got this kind of mountain that is going on to a certain degree in the background. So starting on the left side of that, where the 2 builds come together, there's actually a little chest that is hidden in here in the mountain, not in the mountain. You got some gold ingots that are in there. It just kind of chills in there. You can get to it however you so please. And then wrapping around the front, you've got some brick built stairs, which are made out of rock here. It's supposed to be rock, that you climb a ladder up to the 2nd story. But what you do have is, as you're moving across the front, you've kind of got this almost like grotto that is going on to a certain degree. And there is a lever function to a certain degree where you're just basically pressing a group of plates and tiles forward. And that is allowing you to get access to the grotto. And what it does is it moves all these bamboo stalks in the front out of the way, and boom, here you go. You can get inside there. You can do whatever you are going to do in there. There is a little clip in place here, that a ratcheted clip. I'm not really quite sure what that is really used for, but the interesting thing is there is an octane barrel that is in here that is behind that. So I imagine you can, perhaps think like, oh, I'm blasting the enemy out or something like that. I mean, whatever you would prefer. So continuing around the right side of this, you've got another bamboo piece here, another large rocky piece coming up the side in that lovely, oh my God, that lovely sand green, and then the mix of grays here. But down on the bottom, you've got this little build that has a golden micro scale, or a micro minifig, nanofig. Is it nanofig? Anyway, you have your tiny little minifig thingy guy in there. So as you go upward, because you could take those little stairs upward, or maybe you want to do your spin jitsu. I know it's not this, but I'm making a joke. Okay. Just relax. Anyway, you get to the next level, which is essentially the top level for all intensive purposes. But what you end up having here is you have this little build that is going on, little dojo kind of thing going on. There is a golden weapon that is in here, which is able to be spun around and hidden. It is, I guess, essentially a shrine in any other time, but it's nice to be able to have that. But the decoration with this is really, really pretty, really great coloring, some stickers, some gold. You've got a fairly newer claw piece that is attached off of the roof. And then you got some ingots that are used here up on the roof as well, just for, that extra nice, cool, it just gives you a different feel overall. I mean, it just feels different. There's something about it. It just feels great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just the way that it sits in there. Like I said, it can be removed. And the thing is, again, so many of the Monkie Kid things can be, modular sized, where you just kind of clip everything into place or pin everything into place, and it just works. So spinning this thing around to the rear, there's a whole bunch that is really going on up here. This is the back end of his headquarters for the most part. This is kind of like the makeup of his room, is kind of what it comes across as. So starting at the top of this, it's kind of this brick facade that is going on in the background, which is okay. You got some clouds that are sticking out the side. You have another tile here with some Chinese writing on it. Another couple tiles with some different pictures on it. One of which has the wooden duck, the Lego wooden duck. I thought that was kind of cool to put in there. That was kind of cute. There is a Lego brick built abacus back here with some tea and a teacup. I like that. There's also a hidden kind of background sticker that is in here just on the opposite side of where that weapon can spin around, in the shrine on the opposite side. There is a compass. There is a printed globe piece on a tan minifig head. I do like that. There is a scroll that is in here. This is a sticker as well. You do have as we move down to the next level, you do have some stairs coming down the one side and not on the opposite side. But you do have this tiny little like a nook section that is in here. Another tile in there with some stickers on it. You have another golden weapon. You have a hidden type camera that you can flip out and watch for intruders and stuff. It is a lime green camera, which is nice. You have a wrench in here as well. And then as you move down to the bottom level, you've got this little section where, you can stick a chest. You find the chest, you stick it in here or whatever. And then on the opposing side, you have what looked to be like an abacus or some kind of game or something that is going on here. Maybe it's I don't know. There's some music notes here, so I'm not really sure what this is, but it's a big old printed or a tile that is going on here. You have some sort of instrument as well that is going on over here using a spear gun as it is brick built. And then there is another tile that has a print down on the bottom. It talks about a 4+ set, which I thought was kind of cool. Not really sure which one that is referencing. So that is the set build as a whole. A lot of cool stuff with it. A lot of pretty texture, nice coloring. It was a really fun build. And I'm somebody that, again, I don't like repetitive building. Mechs to a certain degree are a little bit different just in the way that they are done. This was really, really nice. It was a lot of fun to be able to build. And I felt like every page that I turned, I was doing something different that I hadn't done before. So that was really refreshing. So let's go ahead and talk about the vast amount of minifigures that come with this set. So the first one up is your ultimate baddie that you're getting here in this set. So I definitely wanted to get into him because of what he has. He's got some really cool stuff. So this is the Golden Winged Eagle dude. And what he is, well, he's got a kind of a mech eagle build that is going on here. Really, really, really sharp looking in the way that it is done. Black, gold, purple that is in here as well. You got some skeleton heads hanging down here. You got some stud shooters on the wings, some nice brick built feathering that is going on for the feathers on the exterior. And then he is just essentially attached to the center of this. His legs are dangling and stuff. Felt almost kind of like the monkeys from the Wizard of Oz-esque. Very, very much so. But they're tiny little ball joints up here at the shoulders. And then you have everything else that is locked into place other than the feather tips that are out on the edge. This thing can rotate around at the center because it is just pinned into place into a bunch of Technic connectors. Actually, just the whole bottom end is Technic. It's supposed to be like bird legs. You have these giant talon claws that are in the front and the rear, and they are just really cool. They are what give you the balance, essentially. Just hold that extra bit, whether to the front or to the rear. You do have some movement for the feet to go backwards, but all that does is create a heavy push to the rear, and it ends up not liking that balancing act whatsoever. So really cool. This is the same minifig that we talked about in one of the other sets with the golden beak, the nice, lovely printing that is on the body, and then that weird looking hair, that rope style hair piece that they use. But it is a really nice build for a bad minifigure guy, because you imagine he's attacking the base, and it's just a lot of fun. It's another thing to be able to play with. And even though it's not like a true bad guy vehicle, that's about as close as you're going to get. So let's talk about Monkie Kid next. Monkie Kid comes with this little hover bike flyer thing that he's got going on here. Really sharp looking in the way that it is done. It's essentially his little delivery vehicle. This does not have wheels. It does have, it does fly. And, he's delivering some goodies, some different food items that he's got going on here. The build to the bike is kind of different. It does have that solid red motorcycle frame, but it, I don't know, it just comes across just different in its own way. And I'm a big fan of it. For something so small, I'm just a really big fan of that. Now, Monkie Kid we have seen before. Monkie Kid is kind of that similar, always Monkie Kid theme with his standard garb, not his warrior garb so much. And he comes with his staff. He has two different faces. He's got an angry face, and he does have a face where he's got his mouth open, eyes closed. He does not have the red visor eyes, so that is not the case here. But he comes with his standard suit. Pigsy comes identically to what he was in the one set where he was in the prison carriage with the his belly showing the blue and the blue. He comes with a set of chopsticks here. And then we move on to May. May comes with her little battle axe that she's got going on. It's not really her battle axe. She is, from what the pictures on the box show, she is essentially the blacksmith that is going on here. She has her happy face and then her upset face. But again, no visor printing or anything like that covering the eyes. Then we have Lee. Lee is a different character that we have not seen in this wave yet. Lee has got some really nice printing on that torso. This is essentially your panda food stand that we had talked about on the first main build on this episode. That is what she is running. She's got some kind of dumpling / bread item that she's holding, and then she's got a green kind of like a bamboo piece that's going on. But she's got the little panda that is printed on her chest. I do like that. And she has two faces. Both of them are semi-pleasant. She's not angry about anything. Then we move on to Sandy, and Sandy comes with the cat yet again. You always get the cat. Cat is awesome. But Sandy's not in the big fig form. Sandy's in the minifig form, believe it or not. He is carrying two fish that he's got going on here and just doing his job. He's collecting fish. I do like his printing, though. It is some of the more bold printing that I've seen. I think it's the color scheme between the green and the teal and the purple and the magenta, and then you have the white legs. There's just a lot of really good printing going on here. The boot printing around the toes is phenomenal. The only thing that I wish was different as far as the printing goes, the only thing I wish on the side of the legs, it was printed just that much further back, because the purple looks kind of awkward, because then you get this little white sliver around the back end of like where his butt would be. Not a fan of that. But it's, it's really nothing. It's something tiny. It is something tiny. It's not anything really to get worked up about or irritated with. Just something tiny. So as a whole, I think the set really turned out really well. It's a lot of fun to play with. There's a lot of good building here, like I had mentioned. Everything that you're doing is a novel experience. It is something you more than likely haven't done before. The only thing that I could think of is maybe with the Golden Eagle. I didn't build the Spider-Man from the first new reboot of the Spider-Man. I didn't build that with the big winged guy. but it almost kind of resembles that to a certain degree. I don't know if maybe that's where they kind of took some idea from. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a Lego, so why not? But that would be the only thing that I could think of that might be similar, because again, Monkey Kid sets are completely different. They're based on a cartoon. They're based on, I think, lore and myth and legend and whatever else. But at the end of everything, it was a magnificent build. I just had a real good time, a lot of fun building this. And, you know, I always look forward to Monkey Kid themes. I hope you do. If anything, there's a lot of really cool pieces in it, a lot of cool colors. Again, it's not as colorful as the Friends line is, but it is darn near up there. It is pretty close. So that's going to wrap up this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. The end of the year is fast approaching. We've got some more things coming up, as I said, and then I'm sure things are trickling over into the new year just because there just seems to be not enough hours in the day. So hopefully you're doing well. Until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.